If you're a daredevil who wants to always try the latest and greatest, then this video is for you. Let's look at Navigraph's latest Navigraph Hub and see what has changed. Let's roll the intro and then let's look at the details. Navigraph has released, I would say, kind of a beta update for Flight Simulator 2024, and for those who are, say, using Navigraph, they know probably already the Navigraph Hub, which contains all the stuff which makes it easier to update both the simulator base packages, but also the add-on packages. As you can see, I'm currently not up to date for Flight Simulator 2020 because I haven't played it for a while. But if you also look closely, you will see the MSFS 2024 stuff. And this only currently contains the Navigraph base packages, which is of course already a lot. As you can see, everything is in beta, so watch out, there could be some bugs in it which could cause some weird issues. But if you're, say, kind of happy to help improving this product or testing this product, then feel free to install it. Installing it goes really easy, right? You just press the install option and then it will start installing the stuff. As you can see, some of them are going really fast and some of them are going a little bit slower than you would expect. Besides that, there's also the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020-2024 installed outside of the simulator, which is in my case the Phoenix Simulations A320, which is using a pack outside of the normal folder. Now, where is all that stuff being stored? Well, let's have a look at it. So we go to the community folder, in my case, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, you will find the community folder, and here you will find all that Navigraph stuff. So if something goes wrong, you can easily, let's say, remove it by closing Flight Simulator 2020 again, or 2024 again, sorry, and then removing all these maps, and then simply start Flight Simulator 2024 again. This will, of course, would say, restrict you in testing these kind of things. So let's see what these items are adding to Flight Simulator. Well, first of all, we don't even need to start Flight Simulator, right? Because you can see that these two, the nav base and the nav, yep, those are the navigation databases. So if you open them, we can go into the scenery and there we will find the maintenance BGL, which is a large one. Which contains some interesting stuff, which you cannot read, I would say, by hand. And then we've got the Navigraph nav YAP, which contains Jeppesen, which all contains all kind of separate files, and these are the navigation files as far as I understood. But if you look closely, you will also see that there are some other things like the charts app, the SimBrief app, the in-game panels charts, and also some specific things for the avionics like the G3X, the G1000, the G3000 and 5000. So let's start Flight Simulator now and then let's look at those details. So we're in Flight Simulator. For the first part, we need to look at the EFB, the electronic flight bag, right? You can exit by pressing the tab key or by selecting it with your mouse. And then you can go over to the more apps. Now 2 apps have been added, the Navigraph Charts and the SimBrief Dispatch. The Navigraph Charts, I would say, I'm not sure how it works because I didn't have too much time to have a look at it. But this is how it looks like, right? It currently looks, I would say, pretty empty. You can see an edit button over here and a cancel button, but it doesn't do that much. I'm not sure if this is expected, but I do think that it's since beta that they will work on some stuff which will make it more valuable. The other one is the SimBrief Dispatch, and this one looks pretty interesting because once you're signed in, you can easily access your, I would say, pre-configured flights, which you already did. You can download them, you can delete them. You can also look at your fleet, right? The fleet are your custom airframes that you can configure, as well as you can configure some other things like, say, searching the weather, for example, searching some perf data, which you can look up, which is, I would say, really valuable. And I think it's a bonus point compared to the default flight planning tool within Flight Simulator 2020. Besides that, of course, you can start a complete new flight from scratch using the list over here, which will simply give you access to the SimBrief data, which you normally had, right? The nice thing is also that you can expand it, right? Or you can even increase it, which will make it a little bit more readable for you as the viewers. So this again is the view which you will have in Flight Simulator 2024 when you installed the beta version of the Navigraph software. So nice stuff, right? I would say a nice SimBrief integration. I would say the thing which I'm not that positive about is the Navigraph chart, which looks like pretty empty. And that's also pretty interesting because now I opened it in this size, I can search for information. So it looks like that this is a bug that you got if you open it in the minimized version, that it doesn't show much over here at least, or oh, here it is. So you can expand it by, I would say, extending it. I personally don't love the interface like this, but I can imagine that they did like this because it saves you, let's say, a lot of disk space, right? So, or a lot of screen space, I should say. So moving it over here, that works fine, right? So now let's go to the 172, right? The Cessna 172. Let's see, because the Cessna 172 contains, oh, 172 I said. This one contains, of course, the enhancements which they did for the other cockpits, if I'm correct. So let's put the aircraft, let's say, on an area, right? So let's put it somewhere over here. Let's select this one and then put it somewhere, of course, in a parking spot over here, and then say start flight. And then fingers crossed, of course, because in some cases it might not work perfectly. And that's something which you need to keep in mind, right? In some cases you will see that, let's say, Flight Simulator acts a little bit weird. And that's something which you need to be aware of. Especially during busy times, I still sometimes see some issues, especially with the ATC, where it says, hey, I can't load the live traffic data. That's something which recently popped up. I'm not sure if it's due to the Christmas, the holidays, but that's something I figured out myself. So let's go in this side case. Let's go inside the aircraft. Not normally, of course, what you should do. And this was the warning I was mentioning, right? This was the warning I get recently a lot. So what's other stuff which has been added? Well, that's this part, right? So the in-game panel, that's also something which have been added to the simulator. So this allows you to do a lot of nice things. I would say it's comparable with the previous version of Flight Simulator 2020. So you can look up the data, right? You can even expand this window if you want to make it full size. And then you get the same thing as in the electronic flight bag. So you can, let's say, book your flights, import flights, and the rest of the stuff is there. So looks pretty cool, pretty, I would say, complete, as I must say it. So really nice. Then if we scroll this or close this one, we of course also have the EFB on the right side, right, on the Copilot side. And this is where you can simply access those same applications also, right? So the Navigraph as well as the SimBrief dispatch are over here. So really cool to see. Did we miss something? Just checking. Did we miss the settings? No, settings, it's there, right? You can't configure much here. So that's it for the SimBrief integration in the EFB and the in-game panel. But also let's look if we can find some more information inside the Garmin G1000. Although I'm now doubting, okay, hey, was the Garmin G1000 updated? But that's, I would say, something which we can have a look at later on. I do expect it would be have been updated, but I'm not 100% sure about that. It doesn't look like the case. So let me double check. Oh yeah, now of course blown up the engine, right? Because you know what I forgot? I forgot to remove everything, right? So that's a warning for you. Watch out when doing these kind of things, because you will likely blow up the engine, which is of course not what you want to do. Let me find the Navigraph option over here. Invert flight plan. Let me search to the menu. I don't see a lot here, right? So I don't expect it to be there. Let me quickly look at the Navigraph software itself, right? If I go to the software itself, Navigraph Hub, this is where they mention the G1000. It should have the update, but likely I'm looking at the wrong location because it should be there normally, where you can easily, I would say, access that information also from the flight plan directly inside the navigation systems. And that's applicable for multiple navigation systems, right? It was the G1000, but also the G3 and 5000. as well as the G3X. So that's really nice that they have added this inside the navigation systems of Flight Simulator 2020. Now with that and with a blown up engine, here ends this video already, where we quickly looked at what Navigraph has released. It's currently in beta, right? So it's not officially released, so there could be some issues. If you're experiencing issues, then I would say there's a good tip, right? There's the Navigraph forum, which you can use to report feedback. And you can see some people are reporting already issues like duplicate approaches, as well as the missing airports in Flight Simulator 2024. So keep in mind that although it's there might be some issues with this due to, let's say, the recently released new stuff for Navigraph. So let's hope that they will quickly fix this so we can all benefit from this, especially if you've got a Navigraph subscription. Here ends this video where we quickly looked at the beta stuff which Navigraph has released recently, just a few days for Christmas. Always nice to receive a nice present from our friends from Navigraph. I hope you liked this video. If you're looking for other videos for Flight Simulator 2024, then have a look at my channel because there's a bunch of stuff, including a lot of videos about how to configure your controllers. And I hope you like this one and hope to see you back next time.